Yep, ready to go.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to another episode of Relics Radio. This is a family-friendly show, so the entire family can join us as we talk metal detecting, relic, and treasure hunting. You can also call into the show at 270-495-0315 or join in the chat and post any comments or questions you might have. Relics Radio is available live on the Spreaker app, but it's also archived wherever you get your podcast. You're listening to Relics Radio.
So, hey, Tony, you got to let me know. Why did the chicken cross the road?
I'm not sure.
Me neither. Just thought you would know. You would know since you interact with them chickens a lot. You ever asked them? No, Tony, your mic working? Hey, everyone. I want to welcome you to Relics Radio. I'm your host, DK, with my co-host, Tony. Having technical difficulties there. We'll get him back on in a minute. Heard you for a minute there, buddy. And then
have you got me?
Yeah, there you go.
All right,
I hear you. There you go.
All right, cool. Sorry about that.
That's why the chicken crossed the road, to turn your mic on.
He couldn't hear it. Yeah.
Hey,
what's going? I'm good. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
We can sit here and prep all we want. The second it goes live, all of a sudden you just start smoking.
Right.
You know, lights start flashing. It just goes to hell. No, we're good.
Remember that time I lost power here?
Yeah.
Just all of a sudden everything was dead, and I'm scrambling trying to get back on.
You broke the internet, is what happened.
That's
Our show's so popular. Now,
how's your week been, man?
Oh, it's hot. We had a couple nice days of cool weather, but back up to hot today. And of course, we decided to get out and try and build some more chicken tractors in the heat. So,
wow.
not liking that. Oh well. Yeah. Actually, I did want to tell you one thing.
Go ahead.
Chicken math is a real thing.
Chicken math. Tell me about chicken math.
Chicken math is where this week I took 12 chickens to the auction because we're starting to thin things out. I had a whole bunch of roosters, had some hens that were adopted. They sent them over to us, and they just weren't laying over the last month or so. So I'm like, let's take them to the auction. You know, this guy Jose, he'll buy them and then he eats them. No big deal, right?
Right.
So I got rid of 12 chickens, and I'm like, okay, this is good. Well, I got a phone call the next day. Hey, I've got some chickens. Do you want to come over and grab them? So I had to go get some more chickens.
Oh my goodness. I saw that post of yours on Facebook, and I have to tell you, man, my wife was laughing her butt off. And I go, what's so funny? Because I'm used to you talking about it, and I've heard you say it before.
Which one?
Like, Tony's at a chicken auction. I go, yeah. What's her? Yeah, she's like, I just never heard of such a thing, you know?
Yeah. I got rid of 12 of them. Hey, actually, you know what? They paid me a lot of money for those chickens. I was surprised. That's why I keep going back. But anyways, yeah. So chicken math is a real thing. I'm confirming it.
Yeah.
Oh well. How's your week? You busy with work still?
Good. Last week we had on Friday. Yeah, work's nuts. I don't even want to talk about that.
Next question.
Next question. Last Friday we had a club meeting, Eureka Treasure Hunter Club. We had our club meeting. Mm-hmm. That was pretty fun. You and I did a presentation.
Yeah.
Right.
It actually went really well.
It was last minute. I think this podcast has prepped us for doing stuff like that.
When you're a professional, you can just stand up and talk to anybody about treasure hunting and metal detecting.
Right.
Sometimes it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be good, but it was actually a really good presentation, and we had lots of positive feedback. Right, lots of people coming up and saying, "Hey, that really helped me out." So what was the presentation about? I guess
we did it on research, like how to
Right.
research relic sites and overlay maps and where we find our old maps and here in Colorado and stuff like that, and using like Gaia GPS and USGS and historical maps and different things, and even like how to find owners and landowner addresses and this and stuff. And we even started to get into how to ask permission, but we told them we only have like 40 minutes at the beginning of meetings to do either feature guests or do these things like we did. And we said we do permission getting at some later date, right?
Yeah. It actually, I mean, we know how long-winded you can get. So yeah, 40 minutes flew by. No, I'm just kidding. No,
I can, man. I agree with you 100%.
No, the two of us together, I mean, we can just stand up there and talk. But I had a lot of people come up and say, I go to parks because they're public. I know that I can get on there, but I really want to find old stuff like you guys find when you bring to, find of the month, or we're seeing it on your YouTube channels, or you guys talk about it on the podcast, like all these old relics and these military sites and things like that. I just don't know where to start. Where do I find these places? I just never knew where to start. And
Right.
He said, that's probably the best presentation we've had this year. Now I actually understand where to start from, and that's it. It's time
That's a
for the
huge
rabbit
compliment, because Tony and I
hole. Absolutely.
we didn't even think like, we're like, man, do you really want to do this for the club? Because like they're all park hunters. Like most of them, the majority of them are park hunters, coin shooters, and we're like, no one's gonna like this. I go, well, the 5 people in there that are like nerds like us will love it, and they probably already know about it too. So, but yeah, I was surprised. Like a bunch
was
of
good.
people. We have a lot of new members, and they were all coming up like perfect. That's exactly. So.
Turned out positive for sure.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, if you never listened to Relics Radio, if you happen to be a new listener, just joining us, welcome. Love to have you here with us. And go on back. We've got every show posted for the past 6 years right here on the Spreaker site, or anywhere you find podcasts, really. Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Good Pods, Castbox, all of that. You can find Relics Radio. And man, we had some really cool shows over the last 5 or 6 times. We had open mic night last weekend. That was fun. We had last week. Yeah, we had people join us on that. Frank Gonzalez the week before talking tokens and treasures. We had the guys from Digstock and Lost Dutchman Mining Association on, and then Ed Acree, man, talking about Fort Sherman and his finds over there. It was pretty cool. And we were even live from Rush to the Rockies.
That was awesome.
Yeah,
that was a good show. So. That was a lot of fun.
Go check out an old show. Hey, let's bring our guests on. People didn't tune in to listen to us chat.
I know.
You want to shout people out in the
yeah, let me do that real quick.
Comment section first.
I don't know how this happens, but literally the second you hit go, Ohio Relic Hunter doesn't have to listen to the commercials. Doesn't have to. You just write in there right away. Bill says hi. Says evening to us. We have detecting addicts in the house. Mr. David Full Metal Digger.
What's up, Dave?
Dave's always in the chat with us. We've got hey, get that treasure.
Get that treasure.
Get that treasure.
Get that treasure.
Well, welcome onto the show. We're glad to have you here.
Welcome, man. Excellent. Welcome, everybody. Another Thursday night here on Relics Radio. Glad to have you join us here in the chat right below the show.
Bill,
let's get to it, man.
Yeah, give me Ohio Relic Hunter just said, I found something worth $500,000 today. Fell off a helicopter.
Did he find that door?
I don't know.
You're talking about that door that fell in the creek with in that lake at the holler?
It could have been.
Yeah.
They sell it back to the government or something. I don't know. Nice. Yeah, let's bring on our guests. I'm anxious. We've been talking about this, a competition that occurred. And I was anxious to get talking with these guys, talk about the Masters of Metal competition, but all around just talk about metal detecting, treasure hunting, and that kind of thing. So we are blessed today to have 50% of the winning team from that Minelab Masters of Metal competition. Tonight we've got Adam and Joe on with us. And guys, thanks for coming on, spending some time with Relics Radio.
What's up, guys?
Hey, thank you for having us.
How's it going?
Absolutely.
Good. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves so they can get used to the voices to the names?
Well, I'm Adam Zajac from northern New Jersey and been hunting for almost 3 years around there.
How about you, Joe?
What's up, everyone? So Joe Zitelli, also in New Jersey, and hunting 13 years, so a long time.
Yeah.
Happy to be on the show.
Well, thanks, man. Thanks for giving us
Good.
your time and coming on to talk about, all kinds of things. I
All
tell you
kinds
what.
of stuff.
Yeah.
I just put their links over in the chat there. If you guys aren't following them on Instagram, I tell you what, you're missing out on some incredible pictures and finds. Make sure you guys go over there. We got NJ Coinhunter, and then we have the Niffler. Those links are in the chat. They'll also be in the description of the podcast. But check those guys out. Follow them. They post a lot of great stuff over on Instagram. Wow.
Thank you.
And
Yeah.
I love that name, the Niffler too, man. Like
Yeah.
I knew what it was right away. And then when we got on before the show, I was glad to hear you confirm my suspicion on that.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I became friends with Steph, actually. She's a big fan of Harry Potter. My wife has a whole room. So I have a relic room, obviously. Every one of us probably does. And she's got her whole Harry Potter room. And once I started coming back with some shiny objects like coins and jewelry and such, she's like, "You're like a whatever Niffler." And I'm like, there it is.
That's it.
Found my handle.
I have to admit, I had no clue what it was. No.
Yeah, it's a little creature in the Harry Potter realm. I
Yeah.
was huge in Harry Potter until I met her, and now I like it. And
Nice.
it's a little creature that just loves shiny objects.
Does. He's always stealing them, always putting them in his pouch.
Yeah,
Just all kinds
exactly.
of stuff. So that's exactly what we do. It's like a perfect name as far as I'm concerned. That's awesome.
I do have one confession that
Oh,
we
tell.
haven't told you two guys. Ken and I know about it.
Oh.
We were talking about bringing you guys on, and Ken texted me. He goes, "Should we use the Niffler as his name?" I was like, "No, let's put his real name on the page." I didn't know if he wanted to be known as the Niffler.
No, I love it. I honestly love it. I mean, like you can see from my little logo, I went all out with it. I put the fake wig on them and the Georgian style hat, and yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, very cool. So you kind of mentioned at the beginning of the show, how long you guys been detecting? Like how you said, what'd you say? 13 years, Joe?
Yeah, exactly. So a long time ago.
How'd you
About
get into it? Like of all things, right? Of all things we can do, we all have unique
it's
stories how
funny.
we came to the hobby. Yeah, how'd that happen?
Yeah, it's funny because my dad used to metal detect when I was little, and would take me to the park and he'd be like, "Yeah, go play. I'm gonna go metal detect." So I'd watch him and didn't really understand it, and always saw his metal detector. And one day I just picked it up and I was like, let me give it a shot. He never said like go try it or anything like that. I just saw it in his room, grabbed it. That was back in like 2012, and that day I found a police badge from 1916. I was hooked. Never
Oh.
stopped.
Oh my goodness.
That's awesome.
That is really cool. Really cool. Yeah, and if anybody's interested in what the Niffler looks like, Ohio Relic Hunter just put a link to a Pinterest post.
Thank you.
Actually, yeah, he did a
Uh-oh.
great job. That's a great picture. Thank you there, Bill. Yeah,
Awesome.
that's cool, man. So what a find, right? For one of your first finds. Do you think that's it? Do you think that's the oh my gosh find that
Got
really
you hooked.
got you hooked?
Yeah. I think it was, because it was so early on, and then just to be able to like clean it up and figure out what it was, and that whole process of like looking it up and figuring it out. And my dad always gave me coins as a kid, so I had a collection already, so that helped a lot too. You already have the coin book and you already have like a good sense of what's what. So it definitely all contributed, but yeah, I think that was the one find, and I have it in my room like on a special
Nice.
little spot, because it's like this is what started it all.
Very cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think we all have that. I know I still have my first oh my gosh, which wasn't quite that spectacular. That's pretty cool, man. That's a great.
Joe,
that's
is
great
there a
find.
picture of that on Instagram by chance?
Oh man, you'd have to go all the way back.
All the way back?
Yeah, I would have.
I'm gonna look at it because that's an awesome find. I love that stuff. I have a patch collection of law enforcement patches from across, actually around the world. I was in law enforcement for a while, so those types of relics. I'd love to be able to get on an old Western site and find a pair of shackles or something like that, or that stuff to me is really cool. So yeah, I will definitely look up that badge.
Yeah, we'll get to Adam in a second, but you know what they find a lot of around here, Tony? Like up in the mountains. Have you ever seen anybody from Colorado find a Pinkerton detective's badge?
Sure.
Yeah, they find those here, and it's
I
like,
would
oh my
love to
gosh.
find one of those.
Or
That's
an
awesome.
Indian agent badge. That would be
Right.
spectacular. So what about you, Adam? Like, how long you say?
Only
many
about like 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah, my grandfather did like rock hunting and rock hounding, and he moved out to Arizona to do that. And he passed when I was really young, left me his collection. I got into that stuff for a very long time, and then so I always had like treasure hunting instilled in me. And then my mother bought me a Garrett and like a 250 or 300, and that lasted about a month. And then I bought a Minelab 600. And the first significant two finds were a musket ball and a World War I dog tag.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Therefore, that kind of sent me going because research and everything. And now we get together all the time, and probably 4 or 5 days a week we're out.
How did I'm going to ask you how you two met here in a minute, but they did you do research on that dog tag, and were you able to find any living relatives?
So I did want to talk to you because I know that you like hanging out. I do still have it. And,
cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's just been on the back burner, but I will.
Let's do it, man.
At least send that to you, or send you pictures. And
just a picture, man. That's all I need.
Yeah, on my way.
Just a picture and where you found it, and we can go from there. I enjoy doing that. Really, it's another hobby of mine for sure.
Within reason, I will deliver it to the front steps of one of the family members.
Yeah, it'd be great. Well, let's find him first and see. That'd be awesome. So how'd you two meet?
Joe contacted me on a post, right? I think.
No, I think it might have been Greg, right? Greg was like
through Greg, but you reached out to me in Facebook land on some kind of post, I think, and then we got to chatting more than just being acquainted with each other, and started hunting together.
That's
so thought you maybe saw each other at a park and we're like, hey, what's up? Hey, what's up?
No.
What you swinging? What you swinging?
I don't have any parks around here.
I know.
I'm out by farmland.
No. Well, that's cool, man.
Benefits me a lot, trust me. Not a lot of detectors around here. A lot of unhit spots. It's worked out in our favor, for sure.
That's
you're
good.
Local. Yeah, they're local, so word gets around. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You grab one permission, it's going to turn into others.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I mean, people know the name. That's what happened with my house. Somebody knew my family, and they were trying to sell their home and wanted somebody local and young to buy their house. And fortunately, they knew my last name. And I mean, small towns, man. It's very sweet.
That's all who you know.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's awesome.
What are you guys swinging now? You still swinging the 600, Adam?
No, I have the new one, the Manticore. I like it.
Manticore. Yeah, Tony does too. Manticore,
the beast.
It doesn't miss anything. I'm having a difficult time getting used to the number scale, but it's a great machine. I mean, I went from 30 numbers to 100.
Yeah.
Right.
That's been the only complaint of that the Knox series was the change in those numbers, but I was really happy when they went back up to the 99 for the Manticore. And I came from Garrett's as well, so my changeover, I was expecting a little bit of a more of a learning curve on it, but numbers wise, tone in terms of where targets are falling is pretty close. So that adjustment was easy, but you're right, man, that thing doesn't miss.
Yeah, when I was doing research, like I was watching Hoover Boys and Aqua Chigger and all them, and they were swinging Garrett's, and I just listened to the noises, and to be honest, I didn't care for them. The Minelab sounded more peaceful to my ears, so that's what swayed me, and I went with that, and I'm happy I did. Very happy.
You guys with your measly 100 numbers. The machine I started with had 200 numbers in its ID range. Can you believe that? And I didn't know anything different because it was my first machine, so I was like, it's coming in at 163.
Every size object has its own number.
What's a 163? I don't know what the hell a 163 is.
Higher than a 140. I'm digging it. How about you, Joe? What are you swinging these days? You got a nice shirt on. People can't see it because this is audio.
Yeah,
but,
look at that.
I don't need to say anything. Just
there you go, Denny.
Deus 2.
Deus. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I got it for England because I just felt like it was easier to transport and better for some of those smaller targets out there. But I've only had it for a little while. I was Garrett, and then I was Whites forever. I had a Gold Spectrum for that was the machine that my dad had, so had that for like 8 years, and then I got the V3i, didn't love it, got the AT Max, and now I'm at the Deus 2.
That V3i, it's a real love-hate machine. People either really love it or they just don't care for it. You're on the don't care for it side.
I liked it, but yeah, I mean, took some getting used to. I feel like I wasn't using it to its like full ability, and I just kind of was like, let me try the AT Pro. I like that, so I bought the Max, and I'll tell you, with the Garrett AT Max, I found a ton of good stuff. I mean, I could pick that up and swing that any day. I know that really well, but I'm liking the Deus 2 so far too.
Yeah, I don't think I've heard one person say a bad thing about the Deus or the Deus 2.
No, he doesn't miss silver at all.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like a good machine then. That's a good machine.
He knows his machine.
That's funny. Hey, real quick, I wanted to show you guys, because you guys we're on Zoom here, as well as the audio, but Bill just of Ohio Relic Hunter sent me a picture of the helicopter stuff that he found today. It's not the door. No, it's a bag of something, a whole bag of cords or something.
Wow.
And what happened? I
have no idea. Apparently something fell off of a helicopter and he was able to find it. So just a quick interjection there.
Scary thought, things are falling from the sky.
Right?
Yeah.
That's all you need to get hit and knocked out by that thing. Let's see. You know what? I really want to talk about this competition is what I really want to talk about. Okay. So
we're here for it.
Yeah. Minelab, I know that we've mentioned it on the podcast previously, but, Minelab actually reached out to us for our Rush to the Rockies, national competition. They wanted to put on, and I don't even think it had a title at that point. They wanted to put on this competition to where you had teams together and you competed against each other, and then they would take the winners of each competition, send them on a kind of a round robin type of thing, or like a tournament style, and you move on to the next round. Well, you guys actually put together a team, and I'm interested to hear how that got together. We got, like I said, 50% of the team. We got two guys here that didn't make it on tonight, Brian and Keim. And I'm going to put their Instagram stuff in the chat as well. But I want you guys to tell me how that all came together, how you guys found out about it, how you put stuff together, and then we can maybe get some details of how the competition went.
Who wants to take the reins?
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, they said that the competition was August 5th, and we only found out about 2 weeks before. So it was kind of a rush job on our end to pull things together. Right, Adam? I mean, we were like kind of scrambling there. We were like, are we doing it or are we not doing it?
It's not easy. I mean, you get 4 people alone. To get 2 people that are able to just drop everything and travel and maybe stay somewhere, it's very difficult.
So it was in New York.
5 people possibly into the mix.
It was in New York. How about how far is that from you guys?
Pretty far.
Yeah, 5 to 7 hour trip. Total.
So yeah, big deal to throw all this team together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and everybody's got lives. It's hard to just drop and go, but we made it happen, and we're very glad we did. Now on to the next one.
Of course, yeah. So you guys ended up winning the New York Masters Medal competition. So congratulations. We wanted to congratulate you guys for that accomplishment. From what I've heard, it wasn't an easy competition, and I know that we're going to have Debbie from Minelab on. Ken, when is that coming? When is she on?
She's on the 14th of September. She'll be joining us. She's currently in Nome, Alaska, so she's listening to the show. Everyone wave to Debbie. Hey, Debbie, how you doing?
Hi, Debbie. Find some gold.
Right. I heard they paid you guys $35,000. Is that true? I'm teasing.
Really?
Teasing. They were
Wow,
quiet. I was like,
I
oh,
know.
did I just spill the beans?
That'd be nice. It'd make Alabama a whole lot easier.
It would. It would. Man.
Yep, so you guys won that competition. Where do you go from there now?
We got to rally the troops and figure
like.
out our game plan for how we're gonna fly, drive, or whatever. Likely fly, and then where we're gonna stay and everything, and make sure that everybody is on board and willing and able.
Yeah,
and, that's the first step, is making sure we can all make it, and go from there. Hopefully do well. We'll see.
Sorry, my wife walked in. I had to chat with her real quick, so I was off the mic. But did you guys already talk about like how many other teams there was and stuff like that? Like, have you guys gotten to that yet?
Yeah, no, we haven't gotten into that yet. So I mean,
there was like 5 teams. I mean, competition was pretty tough. I'm not gonna lie. When they announced that we won, we did not know. Like, it was not by any means a landslide. We really thought that we had a good chance of taking second, or third, but we won, and I'm pretty grateful for it.
Yeah.
We won by 1 point.
Oh, close.
That's a close one.
Yeah.
And we were on the seat of our pants the whole time, because I think they waited until after the last round to tally up the second round. So the guessatones or gamatones or whatever it would be called, that was waited to be tallied, and we were nervous, to say the least.
How did you guys originally hear about it? Like did it pop up on a social media post and you guys went, whoa, we should get a team together? How'd that go?
A week before that, I think Minelab USA came out on Instagram, and then I think between that and Minelab posting the flyer for it, I reached out to Joe right away.
Nice.
I knew he would be on board.
And were you just like, yeah, let's do it. Who else can we get, right?
Yeah, it's just a matter of like the logistics of it, because at first they were like, oh, you need 5 people and the 5th person is an alternate. So, at first we were like, oh, well, the 5th person needs to be there. And if that was the case, it would have been almost impossible because of just, logistics, right? Like, you're going to drive with 5 people. It's just tough to do. So when we found out that the alternate doesn't necessarily need to be present, but that you can't, be switching people in and out of the team, which makes sense, then it became a little bit more realistic, and we kind of were like, yeah, we can do it.
And how did you guys come up with Brian and Kaim also to join the team?
No brainer, really. I mean, we pretty much all detect together. We're in a group chat together, plus, a few other people, and process of elimination, some people couldn't make it. Pretty bummed about not being able to make it, but Kaim was on board. Brian's my buddy forever, so it was no brainer. Yeah, great team we have.
And everybody's pretty knowledgeable, like very knowledgeable, and enjoys it. And that's the biggest thing, is just loving what we do. So
yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool. I don't know how people are going to receive it. I sure hope it, catches on and people really enjoy it. I mean, we have this hobby. We enjoy what we enjoy about the hobby, learning about history, preserving history, finding the good stuff, all that stuff, the research and all that stuff. And, there's not too many competitions out there. I guess seated hunts are about the closest thing to competitions you can get into with seated hunts. But, for Minelab to come along and put something like this out, some people will be into it, some people won't. But I bet you by next year, after it really gets around and stuff, I think a lot of people will want to get involved with it for sure.
I agree. I really agree. I think there's a lot of people that like metal detecting because it's something you can do solo, and it's not a competition. It's just you go out and you search for things, but there's also that flip side of the coin where it gives other people a chance to do something. So like next year, if the winners win, they might go to detectable, and that might give somebody a chance to do that doesn't necessarily have that chance, and that's pretty tempting.
Right. That's an amazing, that's definitely amazing motivation for sure. We're going to Florida, right, Tony? We're heading to Florida next.
Yeah, I'm thinking we need to get involved with this.
That's what Debbie said. Debbie's like, you need to get a team together and come to Florida. I'm like, yeah, I do. I need to sell.
Or
we need
she
to sell more chickens, man. That's what you need to do. Sell more
Yeah.
chickens.
She needs to come to Colorado and put it on Colorado. That'd be a heck of a lot easier for us. I mean,
Wouldn't it be great? Maybe next year, man. I think they're going to expand it next year and maybe do more competitions.
I have a feeling we're going to try and throw our hat in the ring on that one.
Yeah. That'd be fun. I so wish we could have pulled it off this year. We tried. We scrambled, man. We were scrambling because we do have a ranch that is associated with our club that we could have held it on, but we were, it was away from our event location that we were having with Rush of the Rockies, and we just couldn't get it together in time and stuff. So, well, cool, man. So, how far away of a drive was it for you guys?
Yeah, it was about 7 hours, so it wasn't super close. So from my house, I went to Adams. He lives like an hour away, and then
I had to work.
Picked him up, and we were on the road.
Stupid work.
That working thing's cutting into my metal detector.
So is,
I tell
man.
you what.
Gosh, stupid work. But yeah, man, that's fun. So you guys go out there, like you probably had no idea what to expect, right? You just knew you're going to go there and have fun, and then you get to meet.
Was there an entrance fee or anything like that?
It was pretty much $25 each, so it was like $100 for the team to join. It's really not that much, so it makes that part made it a little bit easier.
Did you make the alternate buy you guys beers and like food?
The alternate was actually my dad. So I was like, Dad, I'm gonna sign you up. He's like, I can't do it. I'm like, you don't have to do anything. Just I'm gonna put your name on it.
Put your name on there.
But then when we won, I call him and I'm like, Dad, you won. You're got gold. He's like, I've been at the pool all day and I won no medal. Yeah, he did.
Cool, very cool. Then did he buy you beers?
Yeah, when you got back, huh?
Yeah, right.
He's a trooper, though. He goes to Airbnbs and hunts with us. So
very cool, man.
Goes to Bone with me. Always, next week we have an event here in New Jersey, so he'll be with me for that one. He's been to England with me.
Wow.
More than once.
That's awesome.
Checked out the Detectival, went to Stonehenge. I mean, he's a trooper at 72.
Good for him.
That is so
Still
cool.
Loving life. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, for sure.
Very cool.
You went to Detectival. We're going to talk about your England trip here as soon as Adam leaves the room, because Adam said he doesn't want to be around.
Very jealous.
Chat about it.
Very jealous.
I know, like Tony knows exactly what you're talking about, because the first trip I went, Tony was supposed to come with me, right? Come with us with the group, and something came up in his world, and he's like, "Oh man, I can't go." So when we came back, it was like, we want to talk about it, but it'll feel like rubbing it in his face when I'm like,
well,
I found a Roman coin from 92 AD.
You were coming back right when COVID hit, wasn't it?
Oh my gosh. That was crazy.
So that's what, and so then we didn't go for a couple of years in between, and so I had to hear for the 2.5 years about his trip to England and stuff like that. So, yeah.
COVID was a bummer, man. I mean, that ruined so many possible trips for me. Like I had trips planned. I was gonna do 3 in 1 year, and it was like I was excited for it, and all 3 got canceled. It was tough.
I think the group that came in after our group. We came home, and the group that came in after our group, it was right there, February 20th, and they got stuck. They had to stay there, and the group after them got canceled.
No.
Yes, right. Oh shucks,
so
those
bad.
Poor people.
Oh man. I'm sorry for the Roman coins.
Yeah. And I believe I'm the only one out of the 4 of us right now that doesn't have a gold coin. So.
So Joe spilled the beans. You got a gold coin, Joe.
I mean, the gold quarter stater. I got a few pieces of gold, but that gold quarter stater is really the one that nothing like it.
Was it the first stater you found?
That is the first one, yeah.
Oh man.
With the Garrett too. Came up at 55, wasn't deep. Potato field, farmed. I mean, people were running from a mile away, trying to check it out and see where I found it. But came up, great condition, 2,000 years old almost. Can't beat that.
Pulled the dirt back, saw it, got that feeling. a hair standing over the back of your head. Like, did you know immediately? Because that's what you're looking for. Like, everyone's looking for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I got on the walkie-talkie and I was like, guys, I think I found what we're looking for. It's pretty much exactly what I said.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, wow.
Here they come running.
You're like,
Yeah.
that's not a
Pretty
basketball.
epic.
We all do that, right? Like in any kind of relic we find, we're just like, man, that's been sitting there for 160 years, just waiting for me to come along with my little coil in the midst of this gigantic world to this little coil to find it, and reveal it again and pull it back out. And yours was 2,000 years old, Joe. Like, isn't that amazing?
Incredible.
It's just
what's actually pretty funny when Ken and I went this past, we went March. Was that this year? Oh no, we went
up here.
We went October of last year. We went in March. Anyway, okay. And a whole bunch of YouTubers and stuff that went. The guy that we only found one gold coin. The guy that found it, Rob Finds Treasure, he's on YouTube. Now, his passion is metal detecting. He loves metal detecting, but he found a way to make more money, and that's what he does full time, and he does coin hunting, coin roll hunting on his YouTube channel. And so that's what he does a lot of. He doesn't get to do a lot of metal detecting, even though he absolutely loves it. And he showed up, and we're all talking about our machines, and I remember talking with him in the first day, and he was real reserved and passive. He's like, yeah, I just have the AT Pro, and talking about that kind of stuff. He's the one that found the gold coin. And what's funny, Joe, you were saying it came up 55. He's like, yeah, we all came running over, of course, we heard on the walkie-talkies, and he's like, yeah, I think it was like 52 or 53, 54 on the Garrett AT Pro. And I mean, so you just have to swing over it. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, AT Pros, Garrett's are great machines. It has nothing to do with that. You got to swing over it. It's got to be the right. There. Yeah. This is the way that it goes. And, nobody cares what you're out there swinging. If you know your machine and you're over the top of it, oh my gosh. Having somebody find, I mean, I'm getting kind of choked up just talking about it. I mean, being just there for you to see somebody to find it. Not even you're the one that found it. Just seeing somebody pull that out is something that you can't even relate to. It's amazing.
The thing about digging 55s is like when you're in England, 55 is like every little piece of lead. It's
absolutely.
Like if you found one, then you dug a lot of lead. And I'll tell you right now, I dug a lot of lead, and I'm gonna keep digging that lead.
Absolutely. Yeah, you do. You dig a lot of lead. It's my first trip, I don't know if you guys ever heard me tell the story. I've told it a couple times real quick though. Guy Seth, man, Southern Ohio Detecting on YouTube. Seth, he finds a full stater. Okay, and everyone's oohing and on, and everything's crazy, and it's just amazing. It's the second one that had been found that day, and we're in the field where they're just like, "You're gonna find one. You're gonna find one in this field," and we found two. That group found two. So right before lunch, he finds his, and everyone, settles down. We go off for lunch. And then a bunch of us were like, if he doesn't head back to that spot, we're heading to that spot, and everyone kind of had the same idea. And we said, Seth, you going back to this spot? He goes, nah, I think I'm going to head over here. So he went a different direction. And there's about 5 of us out there just hammering that spot, completely bottom feeding, hammering that spot. Nah, nothing. I'm walking all over the place. And after about an hour, he comes moseying back, comes wandering over, like you do. And all of a sudden, he's like, Ken. I was like 10 feet away from him. He's like, come here. You're not going to believe it. He's like, I got another one. So I got a quarter stater.
No way.
And he goes, and he has it in his hand. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And he's on his knees and he's showing it to me. He's got it in his hand. And I was like, oh my God. And he's on the walkie-talkie already. And then after he called it out and everyone started coming, he goes, look where I found it. And it was in a fresh boot print, right in the center of somebody's boot print. So one of us, I quickly looked at the bottom of my boot. It wasn't me. But he goes, look where it was. And I was like, oh my gosh. He goes, somebody's going to be sick. So he reached down and he erased the boot print because he didn't want people to feel bad, if it was them thinking they walked right over it. But Yeah, it's just absolutely crazy. It's a matter of inches, right? Inches and angles, man. That's what it's about. And like Tony said, getting your coil over it. So
Yeah,
congratulations,
awesome.
Joe. That's
I
awesome.
found treasure in the last 3 trips, and I go back in about 25 days. I'll be at Bird Farm, and I'm looking to get treasure. Got to keep the streak going, you know?
That's right. Shoot. Have you been communicated with as far as where that's at? Are they going to keep it, or are they going to disclaim it?
Yeah, I mean, the process is long, especially for an item like that, but it's been about 1.5 years. I keep hearing I'm going to get it back soon, so maybe I'll pick it up in September.
There you go.
Very cool.
That would kill me.
To be without it that way, yeah.
That's rough.
It is. Yeah, we love the Bird Farm. Have you gone with the same group each time, Joe?
So most recently I've been with Ron, for the last like 4 trips, and then I'll be there in September with them. But before that, I did Detectival a few times. One time I kind of just went solo, met up with some people that I met. So kind of a mix of things, but yeah, only with Colchester most recently.
Yeah. Highly recommend those guys, man. They put you on some amazing property for sure.
Yeah, and I think there's some new land coming up, so we're all excited about it.
I bet. When you going, Adam? Come on, man. You gotta. Come on, Adam. You gotta get there.
We're gonna.
What can you sell? What can you sell?
My soul.
My soul.
Meet me at the crossroads.
You heard it right here on Relics Radio. Adam's willing to sell his soul.
You only need 1 kidney, Adam. You'll be fine.
There you go, man.
Hopefully it still work.
It's talk about an amazing experience. I know. I mean, I've only been one time, and it was to the Bird Farm. And I mean, the second I got back, I was thinking, okay, I'm gonna head back out again. I can do this twice a year. If I sell this stuff or I work overtime, I'm gonna put it in my England fund. It is an experience that is like no other. When you do it as the group, when they drive you around, they put you on the fields, and the maps they show you, like, Roman was found over here. We got coppers over here. They found a gold hoard in this field. I mean, it's like, how do you? I was spoiled when I came back here. Like, how do you go back to digging wheat pennies or Indian heads when you're over there and you're digging 500-year-old stuff, and they're like, oh yeah, that's good, great find, good job, and then they're like,
It can hurt you a little bit when you come
yeah.
back, but
You got to kind of put it in perspective. It's like, I mean, if U.S. only has history of like 300 years, you're finding something from the early 1800s. It's kind of like finding something, 500 years old in the UK. You got to kind of think of it like that, but it just helps a little bit to think like that, or else you'll drive yourself crazy.
how many times, Joe, have you held a coin in your hand over there with your eyes about that big going, oh my gosh, and only have them go, that's modern?
No, I pretty much study those books because, you don't want to pull it out of the ground and have not a clue. So I have a pretty good sense, but yeah, it's happened at least once or twice where I'm like, I thought for sure I found a Bronze Age tool, and they're like, no, modern. And I'm like, look at it again. Like, are you sure?
Yeah, maybe you're mistaken. Look at this thing. It looks Iron Age to me.
Yeah, no shot.
Crazy. I found treasure when I was over there last time, and they're still dealing with it too. So
I think you got a cufflink, right?
Yeah, a little cufflink from Charles II. His marriage to Catherine. Yeah.
I found both. Did you find the 2 or the 1?
Just the one. Just the one. Yeah.
Yeah, they are going through the process with that now too for me.
Perfect. Yeah.
What
a coincidence, huh?
Yeah.
What a coincidence.
Crazy.
And by the way, I walked through that area that Ken found that, by the way. So yeah, inches.
Yeah. That's because I was swinging what I was swinging, and you were swinging what you were swinging. That's why.
Is that
right?
it? Well, you wouldn't have found it if I wouldn't told you how to turn up your headphones.
Sounds like Joe.
I walked right into that, man.
Sounds like Joe and I.
Sounds like what?
Joe and I.
Yeah.
The Deus versus the Minelab.
You guys always give each other a bad time. Oh, yeah. Like, don't let me walk behind you, man. You're gonna miss all kinds of stuff.
Hey, man, I walk like I have, like, a walker in front of me. I don't miss anything.
Low and slow.
I'll go slow and
Right.
make sure I hit every inch.
Adam's always gritting that Niffler guy. He's always gritting the fields. Always.
Yeah. Seriously, or you're not gonna find it all.
Yeah. That's cool.
It might be Roman coin, but it's still our history, and I like that. So
Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
definitely
absolutely,
more of a
yeah.
U.S. history, and that
the
was
big coppers feel great. So
I couldn't tell you.
oh,
Never found one, man.
I've got one.
really?
Yeah.
Come over here.
Yeah, I gotta go east, man.
That's what they told me that about Ohio. They're like, you never dug a large cent? Come to Ohio. We dig them like wheat pennies. Well,
Yeah,
sure enough,
I wouldn't
it's
say
true.
that for us, but
Probably not that many, but we get them.
yeah, I've got like
How many do
30
you think
in
you
my-
have so far for
about
the year?
30. About 30.
30.
That's damn
I even-
good.
Wow.
I even have a quarter piece of one, which was
Oh.
kind of really cool. Very, very tiny little piece.
Hmm.
It's a cut piece.
You think
and-
it was cut, not hit by
Yeah,
a
no,
plow?
it was for sure like shears.
Wow, that's interesting. Would they be
Wow.
doing that to pay taxes? I mean, what is?
I don't know. My
A
guess is
quarter
like
of
a
a cent?
bale or something. I have no idea.
Yeah,
I
interesting.
really don't know like the iconic. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I really don't know what everything was worth. I think what in the Civil War, like a cent was 35 cents now, is equivalent to 35 cents now or something like
Okay.
that. So
Interesting.
You guys ever
Yeah.
find any counter stamped coins?
Yeah, I just got one recently. I think it was a KG and it had some counter stamp on it.
I love that stuff, man.
they're pretty cool to find. I think some people collect them just for the counter stamps, so
Sure.
people go crazy over them.
Yeah, they're like tokens.
so
you know, a lot of
unique.
people, yeah, so unique. That's what I like about
not
them.
Yeah,
counter
for sure.
stamp, but counterfeit. And then I had a buddy find a brothel token at a spot that I found recently. Kind of made me sad because that's a big bucket lister for me. So,
Yeah,
but,
so fun, man.
lots of
kind stuff, I
counterfeit.
love it.
lots of
Lot-
counter.
Lots of counterfeit.
Yeah, I think Joe's got 2 8 real counterfeits.
Oh,
I have a cut matron head counterfeit.
Wow.
He's got a trade token counterfeit, which was kind of cool. Big coin.
All right.
Huh.
Big question.
uh-oh.
Any GW buttons?
Not I.
Has eluded me.
No, on your
Oh.
bucket list, so probably, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Not
yet.
yet.
Not yet.
Well,
It
they're-
will
Yeah, it'll happen.
Maybe this weekend.
happen.
You just had to talk. You had to bring it up. That's all.
Yeah.
I was
Positive.
looking at some pictures earlier today of the event you guys were at, the Masters of Metal up there in New York. And did I see it right? Is this the event? Did they have a replica 925 GW button there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Trash. Chipkin?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah,
he
Trash
was
Kip
there.
Chipkin.
Yep, he was there.
And he
Those
made
are
those.
awesome. I would like to get my hands on one of the chickens for sure.
Yeah, so cool. There you go. What's
Oh,
this, Tony?
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, you had the States one? Is that what that
It's-
is?
Yeah.
Is that solid gold one, Tony?
Oh, okay.
That's from Trash.
Yeah. Out of all the
Oh,
things
he
that
made that?
had,
Yeah.
that one was a good one.
Yeah, that was the one I really wanted.
Yep.
For those GWs, there's like 40 or 50 or some obnoxious number variations of them, and cufflinks too, I think, right? Somebody was telling me that there's a whole book on it.
I know it's when I watch videos of people finding them.
Oh,
You know, they'll see one little mark and they'll be like, "Oh my God, it's the arrow with the chicken on it," or
Yeah.
something. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, whatever
Well,
that means,
everybody
I'm
wants
excited."
it.
Yeah, I'm excited
Everybody
right
wants
along
it.
with you.
There's
Just
a few
like,
people- Oops, sorry.
no, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
There's a few people like the New Hampshire hunt that we went to. That guy dug GW, and apparently he's got like 2 or 3 more.
Wow.
Yeah.
I guess when you find it, it starts coming in.
That's so rare, man. That's so
That's
rare.
crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah,
That'd be
absolutely. Hey,
incredible.
Ski Searcher in the chat. Want to say hi to you. Want to say hi to David. Everyone else popping in. Appreciate it. You know what I'm doing is I'm going to release the link if you'd like to join us here and ask questions of Adam and Joe here on the show. We're actually doing the show on Zoom tonight, so you're welcome to join us. Either call into the show or click the link. Come on in with a camera. or you can leave your camera off if you want. But I'll see you there. I'll pop you into the show. You're welcome to ask a question or have a chat with us. So give me a second. I'll put that link up there. How about pine tree shillings?
None.
That's like top bucket list. Well,
Yeah.
oak, willow, pine. I'll take either three.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
big.
I mean, reals are about as good as it gets. If I'm happy with the reals, if I could find a real every couple of months, it keeps me going.
Oh, every couple of months, yeah.
Listen to these guys, man.
Jeez.
Hey,
There's
look at that.
one.
Yeah.
Oh,
For those of you listening, go ahead and hold it up the camera, Adam. So
All right.
Adam's holding up a real.
That
Tell us
was
about
an
it.
8.
Is
No,
that
this is a 2 real with a hole.
Oh,
2
Yeah.
real with a hole? Is it one with the pillars on the back, or is it got the? Let me see. So he's
Got the
holding that
movie
up.
on.
Yep, it's got the shield and the crown. Yeah, perfect.
nice.
Still none for me on that for sure. Tony got one in Ohio.
Yeah, I got a large
That's kept
cent.
secret in detecting.
Yeah, don't tell anybody though.
I won't.
No, I
There's
got
a
on my
chance.
large cent, and 10 minutes later, I mean that made my life right there. Right, 10 minutes
Yeah.
later, I got a 2 real.
wow.
Like I couldn't even enjoy the large cent then. At that point, it was a shame.
Back a
Man.
few months ago, we did an event in New Hampshire. It was Bone. I'm not sure if you've heard of it. Best of
Sure.
Northeast.
Yeah.
I got my first cap bust in the morning, and then I got my first 2 real in the afternoon, and that was just like you don't get days like that very often.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Excellent. How about let me see. So you do you guys belong to a club?
No, not I. I don't think Joe does either. Do you?
ECRDA. I mean, there's some clubs here in New Jersey, but not super active. They're mostly in Central to South Jersey, and just because of my location, I'm a little bit farther away. But we meet up, we hang out sometimes, so it's pretty cool.
Far from
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
ECRDA. I mean, there's some clubs here in New Jersey, but
There's hey Barb, lower your volume when you're on the show. I'll go ahead and ask Dave to unmute. Yeah. Hey Barb, welcome to the show. We got Barb and Nell on with us. How are you? I don't know where your volume button is for the show, but that's why it's echoing over here. How you doing, Barb?
I'm good. Now I can't find the show.
Oh, there we go. No, it's all right.
Yeah, we're
it
good
sounds
there.
like it's off. Sounds like it's off. How are you? How you doing there, Barb?
Oh, hanging in there.
Yeah, you hanging in there. That's good. That's good. You got a question for these guys, Joe or Adam?
No, I wanted to see what they were holding up.
Oh,
Oh.
show her that real again, Adam. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, there you go.
I didn't know it was show and tell. I would have brought some.
I know, right?
Yeah, come
Yeah,
on,
I
Joe.
But,
Look at that. Look at that GW replica. That's
Yeah.
cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's the replica one.
And everyone listening to the podcast replay right now, they're like, we can't see it. But I'll tell you what, Tony's going to post the link to these two guys' both their Instagram page, and I guess they got a Facebook page going. And you can head on over there and check out all their images. They post a lot of finds over there. And that's the Niffler and New Jersey Coinhunter. You got to go check them out for sure. New Jersey Coinhunter. Got to check it out. Dave, are you off mute? David Rose joining the show.
no, he's out there.
There he
Hey,
is.
how's it going, guys?
Good.
Hey, David.
Hey there.
Good to see you.
Yeah, I also tuned in to see what they were holding up. That's
Yeah.
the worst thing you can do to a radio audience. Oh my God!
Say, hey,
that's
look at this.
incredible.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Is that what I think it is?
I'll keep fishing.
Yeah. We keep forgetting about that because we can see each other
Yeah.
and we're like, oh yeah, but cool.
That's all you have
Yeah.
to do to get
Hotel.
people to get on video. Just say you're
That's
holding up
right.
coins.
Yeah, oh, check this out. Wish y'all could see this, but man, it's great.
Hey, you said possibly show and tell. I brought some items.
We also told you might sing, right? You guys have the song picked out yet?
I mean, I do play guitar. I don't
Dave's a
want-
good singer. I heard him sing. So Dave and I went to England together. So Dave, if you've been listening to the show, Joe's been to England quite a few times, and he goes over to that bird farm the past few times, and that's where Dave and I met. Dave and I met at
Yeah, that's where we
the bird
met
farm, yeah.
right before COVID. In fact, two of the guys in our van when they got back to the States they were sick as dogs the week we were there. Remember, Mike was throwing up, and then he found that big Roman gold coin,
hammered Roman gold coin.
I was wanting to go throw up and then go find one. And
I feel so
it
bad
turned
for him
out
after that.
when
Hold
they
on,
got
Barb.
back, they got
Hold on, Barb.
tested. They had COVID antibodies, so we rode in the van with them for a whole week. I don't know how we didn't get sick.
That's crazy.
I think
We
it was
didn't
the
make out
rush of
with 'em.
adrenaline when our van went in the ditch. I think it was the adrenaline pushed all the COVID
Pushed it
bugs
all
right out
out.
of our pores.
No, it was when the van crashed and
Yeah.
Nugget Noggin screamed like a little girl, or was that you, Ken? I can't remember.
Just each carry. Next topic. Next topic. Hey Barb, let us see that amazing coin again. So those of you listening in on the Relics Radio podcast, listening live, or maybe on the replay, we got Barb on with us, and she's showing us her $1 gold coin that she found
Nice.
at a Digging in Virginia event.
Yeah, DIV.
How long ago was that, Barb? 2 years ago now?
No, March, oh God, I think 15th,
Oh, wow.
2022. So
2022, yeah.
Oh, I missed it. Can you hold it up again, Barb?
You don't have
So-
to ask her twice.
Oh,
Come on.
That's right. Do you still sleep with it like I do? Because I sleep with mine every night.
no, I hide it. And so hopefully I don't get dementia and forget where I hid it.
Make sure you tell
Nice.
someone you trust. That's for sure. So what year is it, Barb?
1853.
1853. Hey guys, you any U.S. gold for you? Either one of you?
Nope, no U.S. gold. Bunch of gold rings, but those gold coins in the U.S. they're hard to find.
Yeah, they are for sure.
Pop the seeded.
What's that? You popped a seated?
Lots.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
What are you up to now, Adam? Like 40?
No, like 20.
Feels like 40.
20, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Barb, where in the world are you again? Are you over on the East Coast, Barb?
No, the mountains of North Carolina.
There you go. Yeah.
I got my jammies on, so I'm trying
Oh,
to
that's
be-
all right. Just being selective. I get it. Dave, you ever go hunt on the East? Over in the East?
Yeah, back in 17, all of us Illinois boys, we did a road trip to Connecticut. We
Mhm.
detected along the way, and then we met up with the guys from American Detectorist Forum, and we went in Massachusetts, and that's where I found. We went to this cornfield. The house had the date over the door, 1794. This cornfield was probably 20 acres and had been continuously farmed every year since then. And I found my 1808 large cent, and they'd never used fertilizers, and it came out just stunning.
Wow.
the drape.
That was my best find of the trip. But yeah, East Coast has got it made.
Is that still draped? Or
Was it
did
draped?
drape stop in 1807?
No, that was the first year classic head.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah, and I got it on video. When I popped it up, I could see the back. It said 1 cent. And so I did the reveal live. I flipped it over and I'm like, 1808. I don't freaking believe it.
Wow.
And it was just beautiful. First year of issue.
I
And
think that's my favorite.
yeah, it was a great find. I was screaming like crazy, but the farmer the guys had been detecting that field that we went with for 20 years, and they had found hundreds of coins out there. And I did find a barber dime too. The field workers would be paid in cash, and they would actually sleep in the fields during the harvest time. And they probably gambled. That's why they lost it. But the farmer had deep plowed like 2 feet that year, and it just pulled up so much stuff.
We got
That's
a couple
awesome.
places we're hoping that happens.
You're hoping for some deep plows?
Oh God, the one spot 16 seeded coins came out, and really
You know there's
praying
more.
that somebody digs it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So pretty
Wow.
crazy.
So, are you finding though that more and more farmers are doing no-till?
Doing what?
No till.
No-till.
Like no
Yeah, it's
tilling.
supposed to be better for the environment. So I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah, that's what they're doing in Illinois. A lot of them are doing the no-till, or they just barely scratch the dirt, and the fields aren't being turned over.
Yeah, it also costs a lot. So
Mm.
mean,
If they ever start doing that in England, I think I'll become an activist and go be on the side that's against that. I'll be like, no,
Make a petition.
keep
maybe
doing
I'll have a chance.
Yeah.
By the
Barb,
time
you find it much large sense, Barb, up in your neck of the woods? Or I don't know much
No.
about North Carolina history there. No.
I'm close to Silva, which is about an hour southwest of Asheville.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm way in the west.
Yeah.
No, these people were dirt poor. Silva, I think the town came to be in 1850, right before, pre-Civil War. And I've hunted two really old, a 1910 home that had a house behind it that was 1800, and I found a wheat.
Wow.
And didn't oops, sorry.
And I also found a gold-plated wedding ring that had to have been his great-grandmother's and gave it to him. And I hunted another old 1900 house, and I found like 3 wheats. So these people were just dirt poor.
I don't think they trusted large sums either at first, too, in more southern states.
No.
This isn't real money.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
Well, it's not gonna. Stuff's gonna go away for sure. Well, cool. Hey, Dave, did you hear us talking about this competition that these guys were in and their team? Like, what do you say? We should look at. There's 4 of us on right now. Me, Dave, Barb, and Tony.
Yeah.
Call ourselves.
Yeah,
some
it sounds
kind of
very interesting. I don't know how fast I can move though.
The speed. You
Wait.
guys, let me know.
Speed round?
Does speed have anything to do with it?
A lot, yeah. I'd say you need to be able to know your machine real well. You need to be able to dig targets fast. Recovery speed is important, and yeah, I mean, being able to move fast and recover targets is the name of the game.
Yeah, think fast too. For
Good.
the
there's
guess the tones, you had to. It was timed, so you had to move fast on that too. You had to think about it, move on to the next target, guess what that one was within 5 minutes, or else you're leaving a bunch of things blank. Like,
Yeah, nothing about it was easy. I'll tell you. The competition was tough, like the events were tough, and then the teams that we were up against were tough. And I mean, by the time we were done, we felt like we did like a triathlon, a metal detecting triathlon. Really.
From what I heard, I don't think anybody thought they did well.
Yeah, so when you guess the tones, I mean, extremely difficult, right? So they said the best score so far was a 3, and I think Adam and I each got like a 4. So we were really happy. We were like, well, we did better than they said we probably would, but imagine that you have 20 tones
Right.
and we only guessed 4 right. So
Wow.
tough.
Yeah.
Wow.
We had go ahead, Barb. Yeah, Barb, go ahead.
Yeah, I got a question. So how off were you on identifying the targets? Were you way off or close?
That's the only issue. Is I believe Barb didn't know if they were going to reuse the targets for any future events, so we were not told on what we guessed right and wrong.
Yeah.
So that's the only problem. But it was, I believe, 25 to 30 options out of 20 answers. So there were 5 to 10 curveballs. It was not easy. I mean, there were objects that I wouldn't ever dig unless I went to certain areas for sure. Like mini balls, I've never dug one. Not near a Civil War site. So
yeah.
Interesting.
There's a member in our club, our detecting club, that he comes out to our little monthly hunts we put on all the time, and sometimes he brings this big piece of plywood that he painted white, and he put black tape on it into a grid, and then underneath the plywood he's taped different targets, and he's got 1 through 30 or something like that, and you run your coil over and see if you can guess what targets underneath that plywood, and that's always fun. People really enjoy that. It's a lot of fun, but yeah, you'd be surprised that people don't get a lot of those correct. You know what I mean?
I did the same thing essentially with cardboard pieces and all U.S. coins. But they weren't all U.S. coins, so
Right.
sitting there in the hotel room the night before, guessing these targets, and then here comes a curveball the next day. I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely prepared. We prepared though. Like, I'm texting them the week before, and I'm like, you guys know what a Indian sounds like on your machine? You know what a V nickel versus shield nickel? Like, we were getting into it. We were like, really trying to be as prepared as possible. So I think that helped a little bit.
Yeah. Smart.
Sounds like it paid off.
Yeah, definitely. Smart to do that. Get prepared as you can, but still, you show up, you don't know what to expect. You don't really know.
Right.
What exactly is going to be asked of you. And and I'm kind of glad that I am kind of glad that I heard that the people that participated didn't think they did well. That means Minelab's making it difficult and making it, you know what I mean? It's not going to be like separated by just, a small margin where people are like, oh yeah, I got 95% of them correct and they got 96% of them correct. I mean, for a big national competition like that, you got to have pretty hard tasks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't see any fun in things being too easy. I mean,
right.
When it's handed to you, it just takes all the talent and everything out of it. So.
Right. So, pretty cool, man.
I got another question.
Sure.
How many non-coin answers were there?
Ooh, careful with your answer.
I'd say about less than half. Yeah, I mean, I'd say like less than half.
Less than
That's
half.
a lot of different relics.
Yeah.
5 to 7.
Yeah.
Right? That I can
like that.
Call.
Yeah.
But then again, like I said, they're likely not going to reuse the same batch. And if they
right.
are, they can mix them. So.
Right. Wow,
sounds like a good competition though. Yeah. I like that they're changing it up. They're making something different. This isn't something that you see a lot of, and I hope it does catch on.
And
it'll evolve. It'll evolve, I'm sure, and
sure
it'll gain some traction. I mean, personally, I'm pretty competitive, so I really enjoy that aspect to it. I can see that maybe not everyone's like that, but we had a blast. I mean, we had a ton of fun. It was a road trip. It was an experience. It was a good memory. I mean, like Adam said, it was a really tough event, and we liked that part of it. But yeah, I'm sure it'll evolve. I'm sure that they'll switch things up, get more efficient.
Yeah,
sure.
And I know it was kind of last minute for Minelab, kind of putting on this first one and stuff. But didn't you guys say that you were pretty impressed with actually what Minelab turned out at the event?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, all the way down to the little details. They were, they had everything. They really thought of everything. It was really cool. Like Adam said earlier, though, there wasn't a ton of teams, so I'd be curious how it works with like maybe 20 teams versus 5 or 6 teams like we had. Whatever. It might take a long time, but overall, I think they put on a great event. A lot of attention to detail, which we thought was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And Debbie also did a good job with keeping it inclusive. Like, you don't have to be professional. You don't have to like really, really know everything. There is some luck involved, like the token hunt. I mean, or guessing those answers too. I mean, you might not know the object, but you might still guess the right number or the whatever corresponding object it is for the guessed tones. So there are luck variants added into it for sure.
Was one of the competitions guess the date? No, I'm
I would have gotten it wrong. I don't even remember when it was now.
David, didn't you tell me you can tell the dates of coins these days? You've been detecting so long, my friend.
No, Buckle Boy posted on Facebook. He had a eyeball find of a half dime, and he said guess the date, and he just posted like 2 minutes earlier, and I just happened to see it. So just out of the air, I said 1853.
Yeah,
and it was correct. And I won the
gosh.
prize. And he goes, you kind of took all the fun out of my contest. That's actually a common date. It seems, I found 4 or 5 half dimes, and a lot of them are 1853 with the arrows.
Mm,
and that's what it was. And
love the arrows. Love
He goes, "You
their
must have ESP or something." I said, "Nah, just got lucky."
Just got
But I won a
lucky.
prize, so that was good.
Yeah, that's good. Is he going to send you the coin?
Actually, I asked him about that. He thought about it, but actually, what he sent me was, since it was an eyeball find, he sent me a bunch of eyeball finds from the plantation fields. It was a pottery from the 1700s, 1800s, clay marbles, glass marbles, just all stuff he had eyeballed. And
That's
so,
cool.
yeah, I made a little display with it. It's kind of cool. And it was a nice little prize. But yeah, it definitely stole his thunder that the very first person in his contest guessed it correctly.
You guys familiar with Buckle Boy, Adam and Joe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're
Boy,
talking
that guy, he eyeballs
he's
so much.
incredible,
Boy,
man.
those plantation fields he hunts they're ripe with all kinds of treasures, man. And a lot of them are on the surface, sticking right out of the little humps, and man, it's pretty cool. Great and unique, you know what I mean? Like he's the only one I see that's like presenting it that way, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of people say, well, Tony and Ken, you guys are in the West, so you have access to different things that maybe we don't have over here, and that's true. But man, Buckle Boy, it just seems so unique down there in Louisiana.
Louisiana.
Yeah, pretty cool. So what's next for you guys? Did you talk about that? Where are you headed next? You headed to Alabama? That's where you headed next? Alabama.
On the itinerary, hopefully.
Yes.
Yeah, we're still trying to figure out how we're going to do this, but I'm pretty sure we're going to find a way to get down there. I mean, I can't imagine we're not going to go. So we drive or fly, Alabama, here we come.
Just tell Debbie to fly you guys down there. Just say, come on, man, we were the first. We got to fly us down there, Debbie.
Which basically is.
They basically are. I mean,
even a good chunk of change.
Yeah, right.
So
helps.
Yeah.
When is that hunt in Alabama?
November 10th through the 12th, I think.
Yeah, 11 and 12. So we would probably fly in November 10th, and then we would probably fly out like the 13th or something. So I'm looking at flights now into Atlanta, rent a car, Airbnb, a bunch to think about.
Sure.
And the coolest thing to me about this contest too is it's a contest, but it's also within something else. So in Alabama, it's a gold prospecting event, so we can go do that and enjoy that. So it's not just go there, compete, and see the outcome. It's go there and enjoy yourself too. We can go hunt for gold, and that's awesome. That's something I can't do here, so I want to definitely check that out.
Yeah. So yeah, if you're listening in, there's two more qualifying events, or three? Do you guys know? I know of two.
Why would they care? They've already qualified.
No, but for people listening to the podcast.
Oh, okay.
I think there's four regional events total. I'm not sure if the second one happened already. It might be this weekend.
Okay.
So, yeah, 2 or 3 next, and then the championship.
Well, Tony, we know about a couple of them, right? You want to go ahead and talk about?
Yeah, it looks like
we do know about.
Yeah, the two that we do know, we've got Florida event coming up, October 7th and 8th. That's in DeBerry, Florida. Never heard of that. Dayberry. I'm going to put it over in the chat there.
Arkansas as well.
What's that?
Arkansas.
Yeah. That's the Central Florida Silver and Relic Hunt 2023. That's October 7th and 8th. And then that next weekend, October 13th through the 15th, Treasure Fest 6. That's over in Murfreesboro, Arkansas.
Kadoha Road.
Is that the Diamond Mine? Because that's in Murfrees.
It could be.
Yeah, the Diamond Mine is Murfreesboro.
Trading
that's
company?
where the volcano erupted into the fields, and everybody goes and finds diamonds.
Amazing. So yeah, again, some cool events you can go to, and then also compete in this competition and stuff. How long did it take you guys? How long was the event, or space it out? How long were you guys there before the competition started? How long was the actual competition? Were you guys 2 hours into it? of actual competition time?
So there was some natural hunting that took place for like an hour in the morning, and then there's 3 different events. The first event was before lunch. You take lunch, and then you have the next event, and then the last event, with about an hour in between the second and third event. So, I mean, considering there wasn't a ton of teams, I would say that we finished pretty early, maybe like 3 or 4 p.m. I can imagine that takes much longer if you have more teams. And then there's a lot of downtime too. You know, we were panning for gold. They had spin the wheel, a bunch of other stuff to keep you busy, and of course there's a natural hunt. So our buddy Brian, that was on our team, found a Hibernia. Some silver came out. Pretty cool. Yeah,
That's the best story in the world, too.
Yeah.
Tell them the Hibernia story.
Okay, so it was Brian's turn in the token hunt. So the token hunt was set up in 4 quadrants. So
the relay. That was the relay.
No, okay. The token hunt was set up to where one person goes in for 5 minutes, searches for tokens. The next person does 10 or 15. Then the next person gets a little more time, and so on. And it was Brian's turn, and he got a signal that he had a feeling was a copper. And he skipped it because he knows his machine, and he went on and found tokens because he didn't want to make us lose. And then after the hunt, he went back to the spot and found that.
Wow. A natural find.
Yeah.
On the hunt field. Oh my gosh.
Totally legit. Totally legit. You can't make it up. I mean, Brian is the most honest, and he's like, I heard it, and I didn't want to dig it. I thought we'd lose, so I went back for it.
Well, that's a good teammate, man, because I don't know if I would have passed on that.
That's tough to pass.
Yeah.
Guys, I think I know what this is. We're going to lose because I'm digging this target. No, man, I'm telling you.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Very good guy, and he knows his stuff, and it showed.
Yeah.
Well, Tony just posted his Instagram link in the chat. If you guys are listening on the replay later, head down in that comment section. We're always posting links down in there to how to find our guests online, different social media, things we talk about throughout the show. Just look down that comment section. You can find links to most of the stuff we chat about. But I was on his Instagram page, and
I don't see it on there.
Oh,
I don't see the Hibernia on there. Is what I'm.
No
I'm
Hibernia,
saying.
but I'm telling you,
on Instagram.
Yeah, Brian doesn't post much on Instagram, unfortunately, but we could get you that picture. It's a pretty beautiful coin, considering.
That's sick.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
So am I not looking at his profile here?
No, you probably are, but he doesn't post often.
Like, I gotcha. Hey, boy, what he does post is impressive, man. I'm looking through this.
Yeah.
How many keys has he found? My gosh, it's a huge pile of keys, man.
He's got a ton of silver spoons. He hunts parks a lot and finds a lot of sterling spoons.
Yeah, if you can't get inside your house, I think Brian's got a key to your front door.
He sure does.
Jeez, that's a pile of keys.
Especially if it's an old door.
That's right.
Yeah. Wow.
Crazy. Hey, Dave, you find any silver spoons?
Yeah, I found a couple, but not many. I found one that was engraved with the person's name, like Norma or something, in the ball, and it was like that late 1800s script, you know. But I think I've got 3 or 4 in my collection. Not many at all. I have found the bowls broken off, and I have found the handles, but complete ones maybe 3 or 4 tops.
Yeah. And solid?
Yeah, solid 925 stuff.
Yeah, I always find plated.
Yeah, I would love to find something really old, like with British hallmarks or something, but you know that's gonna be hard to do over here. But nah, just typical turn of the century 925 stuff.
Never say never. Never say never.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead, Joe.
I was going to say the thing about those silver spoons and forks, you put them on a scale, they weigh, 30, 40 grams of silver. It's like finding 2 or 3 walkers. And you kind of think of it like that. You're like, oh, that's a lot of silver,
Yeah.
I did find one over in England. I think it was late 1800s.
It was massive.
Yeah, it was a huge bowl. Huge bowl.
Yeah.
All so big. all the spoons that we find are
Right.
huge.
Yeah. Still none for me. Well, I think I found a little park spoon one time, but not any nice silver spoons. In England I found my first silver thimble ever. That was always on my bucket list here, especially in the West. I try to put stuff on my bucket list that I think I'm going to be able to find here in the West, or even at the outside chance, right? Like, so large cent still on my bucket list. I probably will never find one here, but still on my bucket list. I got a lot of friends back on the East, so someday I may come out and visit y'all, and we'll dig some large cents and stuff. That'd be great. I got a relative in Jersey, so you guys might see me out that way sometime.
We're in Jersey.
Yeah, I'm gonna butcher it. Westington. Nah, no, I don't know. It's my wife's niece, and she keeps wanting to go out and see her, and I'm like, yes, let's do that.
Well, if you do, we'll have spots lined up.
Yeah, I'll say hi for a half hour, and then you won't see me for the week because
You're gonna give him a half hour? That's generous. I'd have waved as I'm driving past.
That's because that's how long it takes for his machine to recharge.
Oh, good one. That's how long it takes for him to figure out how to turn his headphones on.
Oh, God, you're going to just bury me with that every time. We're in England. We're both swinging brand new machines. Tony's got the Manicore and I've got the Legend. And we're, excited to be in England and excited to be swinging brand new machines. I mean, man, you give us a pair of dowsing rods, we're going to be excited. But so walking around, and he walks up to me, and I'm like hearing his detector through my headphones, just ping, 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 just going off, And I'm like, man, listen to that thing. He goes, oh, I love it, man. It just screams at you when it's, good signal and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I'm not digging this Legend. Like, I got that. I'm on my controller.
I haven't heard anything.
I said, it's loud. It's up all the way. I got it at 10, volume level 10. I go, but it's just not loud enough. I go, I'm really not impressed. And so he's looking. I go, here, trade me machines. So I put his machine on, and I'm just like, yeah, that's what I want to hear. Like that Manicore was screaming at me. And he's like, yeah, dude, something's wrong. He's like, something's wrong. So then we're like, I look at my headphones, and I'm like looking all over it, and there's no buttons, there's no sliders. And I'm like, yeah, man, I don't know. And then Tony looks at the side of the air cuff, and there's a sticker that I hadn't peeled off yet, right on the side. Looks like part of the plastic, right? And it says, push here for volume up, push here for volume down. It's actually like in the casting of the headphone. It's not a button, it's not a slider, it's actually the side of the headphone. It's actually got a pressure sensor button inside there. So I turned that thing up, and then it was all bing, 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 and I was like, yes. And I haven't heard the end of it ever since.
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
I think we've
It's all right.
there.
It's all right. It was a good time. And then right afterwards, you found that treasure. So
True. That was it. That was the key. Westfield, New Jersey is where my niece lives.
I know where that is. So that's like 130 on the Parkway, and I'm like 160.
Okay.
So probably like 30 miles south of me. So it's not bad. We'll get you a large cent.
Yeah, cool. Very cool.
The Parkway correlations.
Right. I'm like, okay, sounds reasonable.
Sounds good to me.
Sounds close.
Yeah. I'll draw you a map.
All of New Jersey uses as a measurement.
Yeah. I know once I get to that area, I'm just going to be just swamped because I know a lot of people. You guys now, we could come out, and people over in Pennsylvania want me to come over. I got the corporate office for my company is in Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And I'm always trying my best to get my president of my company to send me there for more training.
Yeah.
Just don't go into Gettysburg. Just stay like a few towns out, and you'll be good.
Yeah.
We just came back from Gettysburg, actually. So.
Yeah. Did you have a good time there?
Yeah. I found a drape. What else did I find? Found a shoe buckle frame and a drape, and that was pretty much it. But it was good. But then we went to Gettysburg and enjoyed ourselves. So it's definitely a cool area. It's out there though, like there's nothing else around it. But if you come out here, do it during the winter so we can go into the woods.
Yeah. Okay. I'll think about that. I know that
That's where it's at.
the first time I traveled to Lancaster for training, they sent me out there a number of years ago, and I'd never been to that part of the country. Never been sort of east of Colorado ever. And I went there in Florida. I've been to Florida. So I went there and I flew into, where was it? Delaware, I guess.
Mhm.
And they said, we're going to send a guy from our crew. I'm in construction. So they said, we're going to send a guy from our crew to come pick you up at the airport, and he's going to bring you to the corporate office. And I said, good. Pick me up. And we're starting to head back. I'm like, how long of a drive is it? And he's like, about an hour and a half. And he said, it won't be too bad. Traffic's going to be okay. He goes, but you know what? I got to stop by my house first. You okay with that? I got to grab some things because after I drop you off, I got to take some equipment over to these guys. I go, yeah, no problem, man. I'm okay. I'm not doing anything till the next day. And I go, where do you live? And he said, Gettysburg. And it just kind of didn't register with me. And then I realized it, and I'm like, wait, the Gettysburg? Like, we're actually close to the Gettysburg. And all of a sudden it became this thing that, yeah, I've always wanted to go to Gettysburg, and we're actually going to go there right now. And man, I don't know. It took me over. Like, I can tell you the exact feeling I had knowing that I was in Gettysburg. So he lived on this trailer out in the middle of like this swath of land. And then there was this huge field, and then this gigantic grove of the most dense forest trees you've ever seen. Just a huge thicket. And I swear you could just see soldiers coming out of that thicket, man. You could just imagine it. You can just picture it. You feel it. At least that's what it was affecting me. And that guy goes, yeah, me and my dad have been hunting that forest over there, the grove of trees forever, the woods over there, call them the woods. We've been hunting the woods over there for years. And I'm like, man, you ever doing a metal detecting? He goes, I've been wanting to get one of those things. I was just like, oh, man.
And actually in like Gettysburg, while you're driving through the battlefields and such, so like near Devil's Den or wherever, there's no relic hunting signs all over the place. It's super illegal. But it's kind of crazy because it's really a gorgeous little town. It's so beautiful, and to know what happened and how much carnage, it's otherworldly.
Incredible.
Yeah. You get that feeling when you're there. You're just like, man, it's like history just affects you. You just know when you start becoming knowledgeable of what happened there and stuff, it just really affects you when you're there.
Yeah, the Welcome Center, if you ever go back, they have a wonderful museum. It's really good, and lots of information back there.
Would love to. Never been back, never been there as a tourist. Would love to go there. And, Jocelyn and Drew, they're not too far from there. I told them, hey, man, come there and hook up with you guys and have you show me around, and would love to do that sometime. Even take my kids, because a couple of my kids are kind of into it, but would love to do that.
What about this kid? You're
my favorite. You're my favorite kid.
Okay, just making sure. Just making sure.
That'd be great, man. We should go do that sometime.
Oh, absolutely.
We always talk about these trips. I got this whole trip planned where we're starting like in the upper Northeast and working our way down the coast and seeing all these YouTubers and all this different stuff. Like, we've had that trip planned forever.
Yep.
But
yeah, that's part of the if we're gonna go to Alabama in November, it's like, do we want to just fly to Atlanta, or do we want to drive and stop here or there?
Right.
There's national parks. Like, we start talking about it and we're like, all the what ifs, like what could we do? And then we're like, okay, let's get realistic here. I mean, probably not gonna have 5 days just to get there,
Right.
Yeah. That's the downside.
It is.
You guys ever watch those videos of van life? Those people that travel around in those converted vans. I always think, man, throw your metal detector in there and just spend a month driving up and down the East Coast, live in the van. Just put all your finds in a bucket and don't even clean them until you get back home. To me, that would be the perfect life.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
One day.
One day.
Right.
One day. What happened to Ken? I don't know. He just dropped off the face of the earth. Got a beard down to there, and he's in a van out by the river.
You'll host from the van. You'll get on the
great.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, we could definitely do it. I know that we've taken the show on the road a couple times now, right? Oklahoma and then Rush to the Rockies. And Rush to the Rockies just blew me away when we did our live broadcast from there because we got all this equipment, we got the computers, all this stuff. So we had power. We had to run power from an extension cord from like 100 feet away. So we're like connecting multiple power cords to get power to the table. And then internet connection was nothing. All we had was our cell phones, and no one was getting very good signal. I had like one bar on my iPhone, and we just hit the hotspot, and I connected 2 computers to it, and we were able to pull it off. I couldn't believe it.
Two computers on one bar up in how many feet elevation were we at?
8,300, 8,400 feet.
Up in the mountains in Podunk, Colorado, and we ended up getting service and did a live broadcast from there.
Yeah, so we could do it in a van down by the river somewhere. I like
there
that
gold-
idea,
is
Dave.
there gold out there?
There is gold.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
ever
gold.
fan?
Sure. I started with that before I got into detecting. Moved to Colorado in 2000 from Northern California and never was into it in California, even though I was surrounded by it. I was in Northern California, which is, up in the mountains there in the Sierra Nevadas and the foothills of Sierra Nevadas, huge gold producing areas out there. And so I always knew about it. So when I moved out in Colorado, I'm like, man, I need to find something for me and my kids to do. Gold prospecting. Yeah, always had an interest in that. We should get into it. So I started doing a ton of research, learning about it, went out and bought a ton of equipment and brought my kids out to go gold prospecting. And my youngest son got into it with me, and him and I used to go out in the rivers all the time. And once you get a little bit of color in that pan, man, you're hooked. Like gold fever can be real and get you hooked. And then I wanted a metal detector. And so that's kind of what led me into getting a metal detector. And I haven't been in a while. Tony and his son and me and me, we went out one time digging in the rivers together. I spent my birthday out there with them one time too. It was a pretty good time.
Yeah. Sounds fantastic. I want to take a trip to Maine and do that. Just little cabin or something on a river and weekend. It'd be cool. You guys go look for aquamarine or anything up in Colorado? I know there's a lot of rock hounding up in the mountains.
Never done
Tony?
that.
Yeah.
No, never done
I've
something
never,
like that.
Me neither. I know it's huge, definitely huge. All kinds of different places around here that you can go do that. Adam, you guys ever get into Native American artifacts and stuff, hunting?
Honestly,
while you're rock hounding, huh?
It's around me, definitely. But I have a friend that does it, and he goes out in the fields, and there's times where he'll get 3 or 4 points in a short hunt. But I've never been interested. I mean, nope. I think it's awesome, but I'm all about the colonial history.
Start talking about points.
I know.
For those of you listening, David Rose is holding up a display box.
Is that stuff that you found? He's muted.
Yeah, you're muted.
Awesome.
Yeah, when I was stationed in Texas, there's so much stuff there, and I would go out on the wide open plains basically and crawl around on my hands and knees under the bushes, and I'd find arrowheads and spear points, and I loved it. I miss that about Texas a lot, finding all the arrowheads.
Awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. I wish I could find some. I mean, I always have my eyes peeled, but really, in my part of the state, it's like not much open land. So out by Adam, maybe a little bit better chance, but we haven't been lucky enough to find any, surprisingly.
We were hunting a field, my other friend Frank, myself, and how old is Xavier? 10, 11? And the little guy found one like within 10 minutes.
I got that.
That's awesome.
Point. I got a kettle point.
You got a kettle point?
Yeah, I got 1 kettle point.
Nice.
Again.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Another bucket list, man.
Thanks, cool. Adam. It's one of Adam's spots. Adam has his best spots. I mean, his area is just so perfect for what we want to do, And like he said, like wait till the winter when we could go in the woods. It's like you find the right cellar hole, you're just like finding so much cool stuff.
Yeah, it's all about the research, and we put a lot of legwork and a lot of research in, and that's pretty much all we do.
Right. That becomes the biggest part of it for sure. We definitely relate.
My wife's probably on her like 150th book this year, and I'll be sitting there while she's reading her books, and I'll be studying the maps like all night long, just trying to correlate them with newer maps and figure out where these places are. And then the best kept secret in metal detecting for Joe and I.
Yeah.
Light detection and ranging.
Tony and I joke all the time that we talk to each other more than we talk to our wives. I mean, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but
we're still both married, so it's all right.
Yeah.
So far.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
I think you said, hey, didn't you say, hey, honey, Ken and I are buying a house in New Hampshire,
yes.
and we're even thinking about bringing you guys with us.
Yeah, I think Joe and I are pretty lucky too in that sense. I mean, his wife kind of shoos him out, and so does mine, and they're fine with us doing it. So
it's important. Yeah, it's important to have supportive partners in your life for sure, man. It definitely helps for sure. But hey, we're getting to the end of the show here, guys. Why don't you go ahead and give us your last little goodbyes, and we'll post your links again, and then Tony and I'll say our goodbyes, and then we'll go ahead and get on out of here and say our goodbyes off the air. You guys are okay with that?
Yes, thank
for it
for everything, and nice to talk to you, David, and was it Barb?
Yeah, Barb
was on. Yeah.
So nice to talk to you all, and this has been a fun experience for me, definitely. Joe?
Yeah. Awesome being on the show. Pleasure to meet you all. And like I said, if you're ever in New Jersey, definitely give us a holler. We'll make sure you find a large cent and wish us luck in Alabama. Hopefully we'll be on the show again after that event if all goes well.
Better believe it. Go ahead, Tony.
Yeah, it's kind of funny when we were texting this week and stuff like that. I said, you guys win Alabama, you got to give us first dibs on getting you guys back on the show. We've had a great show. I mean, I love talking with you guys. You guys are in a great area, and if everybody out there listening, if you guys aren't following these guys on Instagram, man, you're missing out. I've put the links in the chat a couple times. It'll be in the description of the show as well. Check out these guys. Follow them on Instagram. Follow them on Facebook. And wish them good luck down in Alabama. I think who knows how it's going to turn out, but getting that first one under your belt, I think, is fantastic. And I wish you guys the best luck down in Alabama. I really do. Hope that you guys do well down there. So, and for myself here, if you guys are interested in my social media, follow me on YouTube, Facebook. Just type in 5280 Adventures into Google. And you'll find me over there. So check all that out. And Ken, that's all I got.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you showing up on the show, giving us your time. Hour and a half went by fast, huh? It goes by pretty quick.
Yep.
And I want to wish you guys the best of luck in Alabama. I know it is going to be fun no matter what you do. For you two and also your teammates, make sure you let them know that Tony and I said good luck to you for sure. And for those of you competing in Florida in October and also in Arkansas in October, best of luck to you as well. These guys are waiting for you. In Alabama.
Best of luck to everybody.
Got to hurry up and get there. And people are wishing you luck in Alabama also in the chat. So, yeah, cool. Appreciate you guys doing that. And for those of you that joined us in the chat today, thanks for being a part of it. Callers, David and Barb, thank you for calling in. It's been a great show. Got another one coming next week. Make sure you tune in right here, 8 p.m. Eastern every Thursday night, as we go live with Relics Radio. Have a great weekend. Go get the good stuff. If you find it, let me know about it. I'd love to hear it. We'll see you then. And no outro music today. Sorry. And we're done. Sorry, yeah. You should play the outro music, but I didn't have it queued up this time, so.